Welcome to the Deep Dive, the show where we take a mountain of information and distill it down to the essential nuggets you need to be truly well-informed.
That's right.
Today, we're embarking on a deep dive into a topic that's been buzzing across the entire NFL, the 2025 season, for your defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles.
Big year ahead.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
After a truly dream season, the big question isn't just, can they repeat? It's more complex, How do they navigate significant roster and coaching changes?
Yeah, and that schedule.
Exactly. Face down a brutal schedule and handle all the inherent drama that comes with having a giant target painted on your back, being at the very top of the NFL food chain.
That's exactly our mission today. We've poured over all the sources you've shared, from preseason analysis to betting market projections, to really unpack everything.
Good stuff.
We're going to cover the major roster shakeups, the new additions, analyze those crucial coaching adjustments, sift through all the early preseason buzz, and of course, get into the nitty-gritty of win-loss predictions. We'll look at the key players who will define this season, the potential points of contention that could genuinely, make or break their run,
Right.
and what it all means for their unprecedented championship defense.
Okay, let's delve right into it. To understand where the Eagles are headed, we absolutely have to look back at the incredible foundation they built in 2024. It was nothing short of dominant.
It really was.
They finished with a spectacular 14-3 regular season record, clinched the NFC East decisively, and then simply rolled through the playoffs.
Just powered through.
It all culminated in a commanding 40-22 Super Bowl LIX victory over the Kansas City Chiefs. That 14-win season, by the way, not only delivered a Super Bowl, but it also tied the franchise record for regular season victories. Just a phenomenal achievement.
What's truly insightful here is how they achieved that dominance, particularly on offense. Their league-leading rushing attack wasn't just good, it was historically significant.
Off the chart.
Totally. They amassed an all-time NFL record of 3,866 rushing yards, and that figure includes their playoff run.
Wow.
This wasn't merely about raw talent, though they had plenty. It was a fundamental challenge to, conventional NFL wisdom, proving that a truly elite, multifaceted run game can still dictate terms in a pass-heavy league.
Yeah, it created a huge edge.
It really did. A huge part of that, of course, was Saquon Barkley, who had an absolutely monstrous year. He racked up 2,005 rushing yards and 13 touchdowns in just 16 games.
Unbelievable numbers.
Right. That level of production earned him serious Offensive Player of the Year buzz and even put him squarely in the conversation for NFL MVP.
And you can't forget Hurts.
Oh, absolutely not. Jalen Hurts continued to be a dual-threat nightmare for defenses with 14 rushing touchdowns, further cementing the success of the notorious tush-push, a play everyone knows is coming.
But nobody can stop it.
Exactly. Nobody can seem to stop it.
And then the defense. Talk about a complete turnaround. From ranking, 30th in the scoring defense the previous year?
Yeah, near the bottom.
They leaped all the way to second and actually secured the top spot in total defense.
That jump was incredible.
And if we connect this to the broader picture, their Super Bowl performance against the Chiefs really showcased this newfound defensive prowess. They managed an astounding 11 hits and 6 sacks on Patrick Mahomes.
On Mahomes, in the Super Bowl.
Arguably the best quarterback in the modern era. That kind of pressure and disruption made one of the most dynamic offenses look, ordinary. It just underscores how critical that defensive transformation was.
Indeed, that defensive transformation under coordinator Vic Fangio was profound. But looking ahead to 2025, the Eagles face a different landscape, starting with some significant coaching shifts.
Right, Kellen Moore.
Exactly. Offensive coordinator Kellen Moore, who orchestrated that record-breaking run game, left to become the head coach of the New Orleans Saints.
Big opportunity for him.
Huge. His replacement is Kevin Patullo, a longtime member of Nick Sirianni's staff, who now steps into the crucial OC role. This raises an important question for their championship defense. Will the Eagles continue their highly successful run-heavy offensive approach, or will Patullo introduce changes that require, a substantial adjustment period for the team?
That's a huge strategic question. Does he stick with what worked or put his own stamp on it?
Exactly. It's not just a personnel change. It's potentially a philosophical one.
And speaking of adjustments, let's talk about the key player departures. This is a big list.
Yeah, some familiar names gone.
We saw a longtime backup running back Kenneth Gainwell leave, along with guard Mickey Becton, linebacker Oren Burks, defensive end Josh Sweat, and cornerback Darius Slay.
Sweat and Slay are big losses on D.
Huge. We also have to mention the emotional retirement of franchise icon Brandon Graham.
End of an era there.
Definitely. And the trade of backup quarterback Kenny Pickett to the Browns.
Oh.
That's a lot of moving parts, particularly on defense. Losing so many veteran leaders and key contributors could undeniably be a challenge.
For chemistry, for execution, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially early on. Despite those significant departures, though, the Eagles certainly didn't stand still. They've added some intriguing new faces and notably focused heavily on defense in the draft.
Smart move.
At running back, to complement Barkley, they brought in A.J. Dillon. He sat out 2024 with an injury, but prior to that, he had over 2,100 yards and 14 touchdowns in 3 seasons with the Packers. So he brings proven power.
Okay. A thunder to Barkley's lightning, potentially.
Could be. Second-year Will Shipley will also be competing for backup snaps there, adding another dimension. In the quarterback room, with Pickett gone, Kyle McCord was drafted.
Great, the rookie.
Yeah, he'll join Dorian Thompson-Robinson and Tanner McKee in a fascinating battle for that backup QB job. That's a critical role for any contender.
Absolutely. You need a reliable backup.
On defense, veteran additions include Azeez Ojulari, a talented edge rusher, and Adoree Jackson, a versatile defensive back.
Ojulari, if he can stay healthy.
That's the key. The draft saw them go heavily defense early, notably selecting linebacker Jihad Campbell in the first round. He's versatile, multiple positions.
But the shoulder.
But there is a shoulder concern there that bears watching in training camp, yeah. They also picked safety Andrew Mukuba in the second round, a player expected to make an immediate impact.
Okay, Mkuba could start right away.
Looks likely. Other defensive additions through the draft include Ty Robinson on the D-line, Smail Mondon at linebacker, and Mac McWilliams at cornerback. It's clear they were trying to replenish that defensive depth.
Bringing in youth, fitting Fangio's scheme.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Exactly.
Okay, with all those moving parts, let's really break down this 2025 Eagles roster, starting with the offensive core. Jalen Hurts, still projected as a top-tier QB1 in fantasy leagues, right? Meaning he's expected to have a huge impact.
Oh yeah, his value is still sky high.
His rushing upside continues to be key, despite his lowest passing yards since becoming a full-time starter in 2021. Looking at the betting markets, his passing yards over-under is set around 350 yards.
Relatively low for a top QB.
It is, but crucially, his rushing touchdowns over-under is hovering around 11 or 12. That tells us odds makers still see his legs as a massive weapon.
Absolutely. The tush-push factor, too.
Then you have Saquon Barkley. If he stays healthy, he's basically a lock for a top 5 fantasy finish, expected to be one of the most productive backs.
If healthy, yes. He's elite.
The only question is how much volume Hurts, and the newly added Dillon might siphon away from him.
Yeah.
Share carries that could otherwise go to Saquon Barkley.
That's a valid point about workload distribution. How does Patullo manage those touches?
Big question.
In the passing game, A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, and Dallas Goedert are still the main targets. That's one of the league's most dangerous trios.
When they're healthy. All missed time last year.
Right. Health is key there. What's interesting here, and a potential point of contention with the new OC, is that the Eagles were 32nd, dead last, in the NFL in pass attempts in 2024.
Dead last. Wow.
Sources expect this stat to improve this coming season, which could mean a slightly more balanced attack or even a significant shift in philosophy under Patullo.
Which could be good for Hurts' passing numbers, maybe?
Yeah.
Or cause some disruption?
Could be either. Could unlock new levels or, yeah, create an adjustment period. We'll see.
And the offensive line continues to be significant strength, arguably the best in the league.
Definitely top tier.
Stalwarts like Lane Johnson, Jordan Mailata, Landon Dickerson, and Cam Jurgens. That core is about as good as it gets, provides a powerful foundation.
Huge for the run game and pass pro.
The main battle to watch on the line during training camp is at guard, between Tyler Steen and Kenyon Green, who they got from Houston in the offseason.
Right. That spot is key. Competition should solidify an already dominant unit.
Okay, let's shift to the defensive outlook. Vic Fangio's unit was elite last year. First in total D, second in scoring D.
Phenomenal numbers.
But the big question is, can they maintain that level after losing key players like Josh Sweat, Brennan Graham, Darius Slay, and C.J. Gardner-Johnson? That's a lot of talent and leadership walking out the door.
It really is. On the defensive line, Jalen Carter emerged as a standout. 12 tackles for loss.
He looked dominant at times.
He did. He's even considered a dark horse for NFL Defensive Player of the Year. Odds are around plus 2,200, so it's a long shot, but shows the potential people see.
Needs to be consistent, though. And Jordan Davis.
Yeah, Jordan Davis needs to step up, be more productive consistently, solidify the interior alongside Carter. And Ty Robinson is a rookie D lineman to watch. Led the nation in QB hits in college last year.
Okay, so potential there, but maybe needs more consistency from Davis.
That seems fair.
What about the edge rushers? Especially with Josh Sweat gone. He was a consistent pass rusher.
Yeah, losing Sweat hurts. Aziz Ojulari and Jalix Hunt are expected to step into bigger roles there. Ojulari had 6 sacks last year.
But can he stay on the field?
That's always the question with him. Needs to stay healthy. Nolan Smith Jr. and Bryce Huff, who was big free agent signing last year, will also be in the rotation. Provides much-needed depth.
Still feels like maybe they could add someone else there.
Given their aggressive approach, you wouldn't be surprised if Howie Roseman looks to add another outside rusher before summer's over, just to ensure they have enough firepower.
Makes sense.
Linebackers.
Re-signing All-Pro Zach Bound was a big move. Veteran leadership, playmaking. First-round pick Jihad Campbell has tremendous potential.
Hips to shoulders, okay.
If the shoulder is sound, yes.
Yeah.
That's something they'll be monitoring closely in camp. Nakobe Dean is also recovering from a knee injury. Then you have Jeremiah Trotter Jr. and rookie Smail Mondon Jr. providing depth. So it's potentially deep, but also maybe a little unproven as a whole group.
Okay. And the secondary.
Anchors are the young corners, Quinion Mitchell and Cooper DeShawn. Kaylee Ringo and the veteran Adorius Jackson will compete fiercely for that third cornerback spot.
That'll be a good camp battle.
Should be. And Andrew Mukuba is likely to start at safety alongside Reed Blankenship. Sidney Brown could be a factor too once he recovers from his injury. So while there's talent, there's also a lot of newness and some injury question marks across the D. Yeah, if we connect this to the bigger picture, it sounds like the defense is kind of a mixed bag. Lots of raw talent, high draft picks.
Right.
But also a lot of new faces and those injury concerns that could impact their ability to immediately replicate last year's elite performance. It might take time to gel.
Very possible.
Before we move on to what looks like a brutal schedule, let's quickly hit special teams. Kicker Jake Elliott, a bit inconsistent in the regular season for him.
Yeah, 28 of 36 on field goals, only 1 of 7 from 50+. Not his usual standard.
But then playoffs, lights out, 10 of 11, came through when it mattered.
Absolutely clutch. Punter Braden Mann had a strong year, good average, pin teams deep.
And returns.
Cooper DeJean is a reliable punt returner, and Will Shipley is expected to handle pickoff returns, especially with Gainwell gone now.
Okay, solid enough there.
Now, for the road ahead. And this is where the picture gets really challenging. The Eagles face what you can only describe as a gauntlet of a schedule.
Gauntlet's the right word.
In fact, they have the 4th hardest schedule in the NFL, based on last year's opponent records. .561 strength of schedule. That's tough.
Needs lots of good teams.
10 opponents from last season's playoffs for a total of 11 games against playoff teams. And what's fascinating here is the immediate drama. The season kicks off Thursday, September 4th, at home.
Against Dallas.
Against their bitter rivals, the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
Talk about raising the banner and jumping straight into the fire.
An NFC East opener to christen the new season and celebrate the Super Bowl win. That's instant classic material right there.
Absolutely. And then, week 2. Highly anticipated matchups, September 14th. Super Bowl LAX rematch against the Kansas City Chiefs.
In KC this time.
In Kansas City. You can bet Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid will be looking for payback in that one. That's a huge early test.
2 massive games right out of the gate.
And it doesn't let up much. Coming off their Week 9 bye, they face a really tough mid-season stretch at the Green Bay Packers on Monday Night Football.
Lambeau Monday night. Tough.
Then a home game against the Detroit Lions on Sunday Night Football.
Another playoff team.
And then another showdown at the Dallas Cowboys. That stretch alone could define their season and really test their depth.
Wow. So given all this, the tough schedule, the roster changes, what does this mean for their playoff hopes? Win projections.
While the division could still be up for grabs late, they faced the Washington Commanders twice over the last 3 games.
And Washington could be better this year.
Could be. With Jaden Daniels, Laramie Tunsil, and now Deebo Samuel Sr., they could be much improved and seriously pushing for the NFC East crown.
Interesting.
And this raises a crucial point of contention, a big narrative hook. The NFC East hasn't had a back-to-back champion since the Eagles themselves did it way back in 2004.
20 years. That's wild.
It's a 20-year streak they're trying to break. That historical context just adds another layer of drama to every single divisional game.
Okay, so speaking of predictions, the win total. The over-under for the Eagles is set at 11.5 wins.
Right around where they were last year, despite the tougher schedule.
Yeah, and some experts are actually betting the under 11.5 wins. One projection I saw put them at 11.2 wins, specifically citing that incredibly tough schedule as the main reason.
Understandable caution there.
Their odds to make the playoffs are strong, though. -375. That means Vegas thinks they're very likely to get in.
High probability, yeah.
But their Super Bowl odds are around +700 to +750. Good. But slightly behind co-favorites like the Bills and Ravens, who are at +600.
So, seen as strong contenders, but maybe that brutal schedule and the turnover gives them a slightly tougher perceived path than a couple other top teams.
Exactly. It's factored in.
This brings us to some of the main points of contention and ongoing drama for the season. The things that will keep us watching closely.
Yeah, what are the questions?
First, can the defense, with so many new and promoted players, truly maintain that elite level it reached last year after losing some key pieces? Fangio's system is strong, but systems still rely on execution.
Can the young guys step up immediately?
That's question one. Second, will the new OC, Kevin Patullo, find the right balance between their dominant run game and potentially more passing? Or will a change in approach disrupt the offense's rhythm?
The offensive identity question.
Right. Third, the challenging schedule means the Eagles may have to play from behind more often. That would put more pressure on Jalen Hurts and the passing game to perform consistently.
Can they win shootouts if needed?
We'll find out. And of course, the perennial NFC East question. Can they finally break that 20-year curse? No repeat champions in the division. These are the narratives that will unfold week by week.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting. Some of the bold predictions and hot takes floating around on the betting world gives us a glimpse into some wild outcomes.
Always fun to look at these.
Some are predicting the Eagles will score one or more rushing touchdowns in all 17 regular season games. That's pretty audacious. Plus 600 odds on that.
Every single game. Wow. High payout if it hits.
Another bold take. The Baltimore Ravens will beat the Eagles in Super Bowl 60. That's priced at plus 2,800.
Specific. Very specific.
There's also a prediction that the Eagles will be the only NFC East team to make the NFL playoffs. That would be a huge statement about the division.
Dominating the East completely.
And on the individual front, Jalen Hurts to lead the NFL in rushing touchdowns at plus 550 odds.
Possible, given his usage near the goal line.
And Jalen Carter to win NFL Defensive Player of the Year at plus 2,200. We mentioned that dark horse status. Those are certainly some spicy takes.
They really are. Keeps things interesting. And for those of you who want to explore all these schedules in more detail, whether it's the 2025 NFL preseason, regular season, or postseason.
Yeah, where can people find that?
We highly recommend sportsbrackets.net. It's a really comprehensive source for all of it. They've got the Philadelphia Eagles schedule, even the Las Vegas Raiders schedule, right through the playoffs.
Good resource.
And they will also be running an NFL playoff bracket contest using their brackets cryptocurrency for prizes and more. So it's definitely worth checking out for an interactive way to engage with the season.
Okay, good to know. So wrapping this up, considering they just won the Super Bowl and now face this brutal schedule with significant roster and coaching turnover, will the 2025 Eagles manage to hold on to that peak performance?
That's the million-dollar question.
Or will the sheer difficulty of their path force them to adapt and maybe redefine what success looks like in their bid to repeat? What does being truly well-informed about a defending champion really mean when so much is changing around them? Is it about expecting the same results or recognizing that the journey itself will just be fundamentally different this time around?
I think it means understanding the nuances, the challenges, and the potential pitfalls that come with being at the top. Repeating is incredibly hard for a reason.
Very true.
We encourage you to revisit this information, maybe explore the sources for yourselves at sportsbrackets.net, and really consider how a championship team tries to navigate such a challenging and dynamic league where, standing still is basically falling behind.